that there's still a few people joining. Wonderful to see familiar faces. Welcome to this monthly session. The session is really a chance to just slow down together, right? Take a break or take a breath, however long it is, and just step out of the rhythm of doing, getting things done. And it's actually a topic that we will be exploring today, very closely linked to getting things done. Um, Sometimes we get obsessed with being productive. Do we have to choose between being productive or being happy? Is a question we'll be exploring today. Sometimes we think that once we'll have gotten everything done, once there's nothing else on our to-do list, then we'll think about how to be happy, and that will come later. Um, but is that really how it works? Is that really one or the other? So that's what we'll be exploring today. Um, Pierre, if you want to keep it.
Yeah, we do get caught in this pattern of doing. I think we can all relate to that, and it becomes almost automatic. So we wake up, we start doing, we move from one task to the next, and there is often a little bit of pressure underneath it all to keep it up, to stay on top of things, to not fall behind. And even when we're doing well, when we are being productive, there is still typically that sense of tightness, that slight background anxiety. So one of the things we might gently explore today is what is the quality of our productivity? Not just how much we're doing, but how we're experiencing the doing. And without this awareness of the how, productivity can become pretty mechanical, almost like we're carried away by the momentum of our to-do list. I'm sure many of you can relate to the to-do list and the challenges of the to-do list. In addition, though, we might also be accumulating that kind of inner tightness I mentioned earlier, which may be initially subtle, but then over time it might build up, and that's when it might show up as stress, it might show up as fatigue. Eventually, it could lead to burnout if it becomes more chronic. So, so today we're not trying to reduce productivity. Actually, it's more the opposite, because when we start to become more aware and change our relationship to how we work, productivity is likely to increase and we're likely to experience more contentment and happiness. So this is one of the paradoxes that comes with productivity and happiness.
Mm. And it doesn't have to come from a big shift or completely changing the way we work or our lifestyle or the way our calendar is organized. It can come from something really simple, like just a small pause, taking a breath here and there, checking in. How am I doing? Physically, mentally, emotionally, breathing in, breathing out before moving to the next task. So all those little moments of transition are an opportunity to be mindful, to be intentional, and to be more present. So it's really the awareness there that makes a difference, right? The awareness of how we're feeling, how we're how we're doing in the moment, and the fact that we are here right now. And that really changes the tone then of the entire day, the quality of presence we put into things that we do. And instead of being just, pulled along, we begin to participate more fully, to engage more fully with what we are doing as we are being productive. Um, so yeah, and appreciating that, right? Acknowledging what we are accomplishing. Being productive for the sake of being productive will not add positivity to the day, to put to the workday, right? But appreciating that the efforts that we put in add up to accomplish things, and adding meaning to the fact that we are choosing to work on that thing really makes a difference. And really savoring that, right? Savoring the fact that we are getting something done that has meaning, and that we are choosing to dedicate our time to do that. So that really brings positivity into the workday. That energizes us. That uplifts us. And what's really interesting, and Pierre started talking about that, is what we discover when we do that is that slowing down in that sense and breathing in and out in between we do things doesn't actually slow us down in the long term. It actually helps us to, speed up in the long term because we get more clear, we get more present, we get calmer, and so we make better decisions, which means that we will be more productive in the long term, right? We'll choose more wisely what we want to be working on and what we want to be productive with. So the question really becomes less about doing more, and more about doing better, right? Doing better, doing with awareness, and having that sense of calm, having that depth that comes with being present. So yeah, we'll be exploring that today.
A little story comes to mind from one of our workshops when we talk about a related topic is how we spend our day. Like we start to do something, before we even finish doing it, we start to think about the next thing we need to do, and we start to worry a little bit about the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then at the end of the day, we leave the day thinking about what we haven't accomplished and about the to-do list. So we kind of live this life of outstanding, always thinking about what's outstanding. Imagine the stress, the dissatisfaction that comes out of that living in that life of outstanding. So the pauses that Sarah mentioned, this like pause after every little accomplishment, just a moment of stepping back and acknowledging the effort, no matter how small it is, and letting that sink in a little bit and savoring that little feeling of accomplishment. That's what we need to change this dynamic and create that shift and create that positivity, which is going to help us stay motivated, help us stay energized and conquer the more demanding things we have on our plate. So when it comes to the question of productivity and happiness, they become something that truly can coexist and they can support each other. So as we move into the practice today, so we're going to have our mindfulness practice now, and later we're going to do the reflection and the sharing, kind of like what we normally do in these sessions. We invite you to explore those shifts and how we can be aware of our productivity and turn our relationship with it. And our practice today is going to be the gratitude practice, because gratitude has a way of shifting how we relate to ourselves, to the work, to the people around us, and even to the world at large. So gratitude brings a sense of ease and perspective, and that can support us and help us function differently. So I'm looking forward to the gratitude practice.
And it's a great practice to not do anything for a little bit. We're not trying to achieve anything. We're not striving for anything. We're just softening. We're softening so we can see what we're grateful for. So it might feel a little bit, robotic maybe in the beginning if it's the first time you're doing this practice, but see if you can have the intention to soften, be present, and see what comes up for you. So we'll do the practice now. So sitting, standing, lying down. It's also a beautiful practice to do lying down if you're at home and you're feeling like you can soften a little bit better if you're supported by, the floor or whatever you're being on. But choose the posture that's most comfortable for you today. Closing the eyes, turning inwards, and if it's difficult for you right now to close the eyes, if you'd rather lower the gaze down, that's fine too. And letting yourself sit or stand or lie down quietly. Letting yourself get quiet and at ease. Allowing your body to relax, allowing your body to open. Your breath is natural. You let the breath flow. And your heart is easy. Your heart is present. Your heart is soft as possible. And remember, there is no striving in this practice. And we'll start the practice by remembering how much you've cared about yourself and your own life year after year. All those years that you've already spent on this beautiful earth, how you have cared about your own life in small and big ways. Tapping into the dimension of care, caring for your own life. And acknowledging that you haven't been alone caring for your own life and for yourself. There have been other people, other beings that have supported you in this care. Acknowledging everything and everybody that has supported you in caring for your own life, caring for yourself. Your own care and the care of others have been supporting you, have been uplifting you, have been nourishing you, have been holding you. Maybe there's a little softening, a little opening there, tapping into that sense of care. And I will now start the practice of gratitude phrases. So I'll say a few phrases. You can repeat them after me in your mind or aloud. You can tweak these as you want so that they sound like you. And as you hear these phrases, as you hear these reflections, see if you can let them open a sense of gratitude within you. Or maybe just a seed of gratitude. So the first phrase is the big picture. And with gratitude, I remember all the people, animals, plants, creatures of the sky and the sea, air and water, fire and earth, who support and bless my life every day. With gratitude, I remember all these beings that support my life every day. With gratitude, I remember the care and the hard work of many generations of ancestors who came before me. The labor of many generations of ancestors. With gratitude, I remember a measure of safety and well being that I've been given. Safety, well being. With gratitude, I remember the health I've been given, the health and the ability to heal. With gratitude, I remember the blessings of food and shelter and care I've been given year after year. Shelter, a roof, food, ways to sustain my body, an education, ways to sustain my mind. With gratitude, I remember the family and the friends that I have been given, the family and the friends, the care, the love, the relationships I have been given. And with gratitude, I remember the teachers and the teachings and the lessons I have been offered, all that I've learned from others who have shared their wisdom and their knowledge with me. And with gratitude, I remember the understanding and the compassion, the wisdom and the compassion that has grown in me, that is still growing in me. The wisdom and the compassion that is growing in me. And finally, with gratitude, I remember all things small and great that I'm blessed with every day. So, whatever I haven't mentioned yet, whatever you'd like to take a few breaths being grateful for, all those things and those beings that come to you every day, small and great. And if you're sensing a sense of gratitude, even if it's just a seed, can you savor it? Savor it, savor that gratitude. The felt experience of being grateful, which does bring happiness. It uplifts, it softens, it nourishes. So we'll stay there for a few more breaths. You can stay there for as long as you like, but giving yourself at least a few more breaths before coming back to the screen and maybe taking a small moment to be grateful for those faces that are there, your mindfulness friends, some people you know, some are strangers. Sharing your practice, right? People that are choosing to spend that almost 1 hour with you to share their practice and share their experience. Mm. Mm. So I think we have time for a lot of sharing, actually, which is great. Uh, it's a great topic to be exchanging about. Um, Pierre, do you want to ask your first prompt, maybe? Do you want to kick us off? And
Yeah, yeah. So I want to share this nice quote from an unknown, and that relates to the positivity that gratitude can create. That can help us be productive and happy. So it's really noticing what's good. And the more we do that, the more we do that. So that's the good news. So it reinforces itself and it can help us kind of make those shifts that we are referring to. So, in terms of prompts, so we have a few prompts for you, and this is just food for thought. So you can, read them, see if something resonates. You can jot down a few notes. We give you maybe a minute to reflect, jot down a few notes if you'd like. Or it could be something very different that's alive for you right now that you'd like to share in the small breakout room and kind of learn from sharing and learn from the discussion, and then we'll come back and share it in the main room. So just a few moments for you to reflect first.